Well, can you believe it? CBC's Dragon's Den is about to end its 20th season. My next two guests know it. They're returning champs and have the multi-million-dollar deals to prove it. Meet them next on Brio TV, the podcast. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Bill Brio. Well, are you like me? Do you like snacks, those delicious snack foods, but your body not that crazy about sugar? Well, trying to enjoy fun foods that are healthier? On this episode, meet two entrepreneurs who took their better ideas into the Dragon's Den and came out big winners. First, meet Jay Klein, the founder and CEO of PÜR, a brand committed to making simple, better for you snack substitutions without compromising taste or quality. His flagship product, PÜR Gum, is now the #1 selling aspartame-free gum in the world. He's worked the same magic with mints, as well as on one of my favorite foods, popcorn. Please welcome Jay Klein. All right. Well, Jay, thank you for taking some time today, and congratulations on being a full circle dragon. What a great story yours is. And I'll just quickly say how intrigued I am and anxious to talk to you about your products. My blood sugar runs a little high. And so I'm always looking for substitutes for sugar and aspartame. And PÜR, of course, is that's the heart and soul of your pitch, isn't it?
We are aspartame free, we're sugar free. And at the beginning, we got so caught up in telling everyone what we're free from. So diabetic friendly, soy free, gluten free. And we spent a lot less time saying how great PÜR tastes.
Yes.
So we had to update the sales deck for people to start with. It tastes great. And then simple substitutions with no compromise in taste or quality that accommodate all dietary sensitivities. And that was great. I do see we need to fill the gumball machine up in the background.
Oh, I'm glad you noticed that. I'm glad,
we have to fill it up with our new PÜR jumbos.
I hear you have round gums. Now, this is of Simpsons.
I love it.
Gum machine that I got years ago. So I usually have a globe on there, and I thought I'm going to stick that in the back, see if you notice. But is that product already available?
Yep, the jumbos and the jumbo sours are in market. Wow. They're available. And really to take the gumball approach, and even The Simpsons, I grew up watching The Simpsons, what we wanted to do was bring the nostalgia back to chewing gum. So we've done a lot of things in chewing gum in the better for you space, but really, in today's world, people care about what they consume and how they can, have choices and optionality, but also quality. And when I was a kid growing up, if I was eating something with sugar or, like a gumball, for example, it's just not the best choice, but it wasn't, kind of in the headlines. Today, with red food dyes and artificial colors and artificial flavors, people really care about what they're consuming. So as a company, we said, how do we recreate those childhood memories and the nostalgia and give people that taste and chewing experience, but be better for you? And so we came out with this line of jumbo gums, and now we just launched sours, and it's truly the modern day gumball.
It's brilliant because, when I was a kid, you would pay, 5 cents instead of 3 to get Jawbreakers. So Not only was the gum not good for you, it literally was basically telling you there will be dental work.
So, and not to date us, but if you were paying 5 cents and I was paying, 25 cents, right. I guess I'm right. But today it's $1. So, It's come a long way.
Well, that's fantastic. And I like the idea of that fun aspect. I still like cereal, but today eating bowls of cereal there may be 3 that have 1% or less sugar in them, right? Even the ones that are supposedly sugar free. So it's hard to find options that taste great and are fun. So I think that that's such a obviously the dragons were blown away. I'm sure when you made this pitch. Was it in 20? When did you?
2014 we were in the den.
Okay.
And to start at the full circle moment,
Yeah.
I walked in there nervous and vulnerable. And although, as an entrepreneur, you're incredibly confident, you're pitching your brand every day.
Yeah.
To be in a situation where you're kind of, if you will, presenting to the class, where the teachers or the panel of professors are going to validate whether it's a good idea or not. And then you have millions of Canadians watching to see what they've said, which kind of amplifies the validation or not. And as soon as the dragon said, we love that product, I chew that product, and they really got behind what we did at the time, there was a sense of calm that came over me. And I was able just to transition into focusing on our story, focusing on our points of difference, and talking about our business. And that was something that until I got yep, we like it, you're just unsure. It's a very humbling feeling to walk into the den.
I bet it is. And it was Arlene Dickinson who was.
It was Arlene and Jim,
okay.
who ultimately, we had offers from all 5 dragons.
Wow.
One had dropped out, and then we had choices. Like it was really special. I like to say, it's the ultimate compliment when not only someone likes your business, but when they're willing to invest in it. I think that's the difference between a great idea and an idea that people want to participate in.
What were they more impressed with, the product or your ability to sell it?
I think with any entrepreneurial story, it's the entrepreneur. Like, in Dragon's Den, you have a short period of time to kind of get to understand the product and the market, but you can see the passion, you can see the energy of an entrepreneur. And, now that I'm deeper into my entrepreneurial journey, you see it really is the jockey. And, the person with the passion who's not going to take no for an answer, who's going to make one more call or stay up late. There's a work ethic that entrepreneurs have that, it's just, if it's the person or not. And I think today people ask certain questions to see how engaged a founder is. And you're definitely backing the person first. And I've seen examples of a great idea run by a subpar entrepreneur, and the idea doesn't succeed. And then you can see an amazing entrepreneur take the most basic idea and create a monumental success. And it's just because they worked hard, they were committed and passionate, and they turned it into a success.
And perseverance really is such a big part of this story, isn't it? You hear of people who have great ideas and don't get anywhere. You really have to continue to believe and push, right?
Perseverance and risk tolerance. You need to, first of all, you're trying to survive. In all early stages of business, you're kind of learning on the fly. You are being challenged in many ways. You're usually strapped for cash, and you need to figure out, how do I get to tomorrow? You're not even thinking about next week or next month. And the thing that I love about the Dragon's Den experience is we all share these similar feelings, because standing on the pitcher's mark and pitching to the dragons, and now sitting in the dragon's chair and listening, the stories are so relatable. You don't even have to listen to what the business model is. You can hear the emotion. You can hear the sweat. You can hear the tears. You know the challenges. You know what it's like to be stuck with too much inventory and not enough buyers. And if you can persevere, if you can, kind of digest the risk, understand what it's like to lose it all, but have the opportunity to win, those are the stages. And, as I share with people today, business only gets harder. There is no point that it's easier, because when you have the bigger scope or a bigger spotlight or more distribution, more receivables, more inventory, more can go wrong.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting thing, because people are always like, oh, when you're past the point and it's easy, it's like, wait, I haven't gotten there yet. So let me, I don't know what that feels like.
Right. We'll be right back with Full Circle Dragon Jay Klein in just a moment. time once again to check in with Emily Gagne. Emily, I hear there's something coming up on Hollywood Suite. Tell me the name of this new show.
It's called The Listeners, Bill.
Oh, see, that's why I heard about it.
Oh, yeah, you should hear about it because it is a sensational show, 6-part series from the UK. This is the first time it's going to be seen in Canada, and it is about a group of people that hear this mysterious sound that other people can't hear. And why is that? They have to find out.
Okay, well, we'll look for that. Also, what kind of movies you got coming up? I know Hollywood Suite always got great films.
Well, it's Black History Month, so we like to celebrate iconic contributions to film by Black folks. So we've got, some Spike Lee classics like School Days and The Inside Man, but also some modern favorites like The Woman King.
So there it is, folks. Everything coming up on Hollywood Suite in February. Thanks a lot, Emily.
Thanks, Bill.
Jay Klein turned one simple idea into a worldwide sensation, and now he's a full circle dragon. He entered the den in season 9 with one clear mission: kick artificial sweeteners out of gum.
I'd love to do that deal.
All right.
Let's do that deal. Yes.
That passion and that $1 million smile sparked the rise of a global powerhouse.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Unbiased.
Last year alone, Jay sold more than 2 billion pieces of gum across 50-plus countries, making PÜR the fastest-growing gum brand in North America. Jay's expanding his empire with bold new products and a brand new U.S. distribution center, fueling PÜR's next big chapter.
I see packages going all across the globe.
Now this father of 4 is back in the den, ready to chew over some big deals of his own.
Here I get to sit in the den as a sign to all entrepreneurs that if you work hard and dream big, you can make anything happen.
And now more with PÜR founder Jay Klein. Often you read about even like Walt Disney had an early, disappointment. Somebody stole one of his early animated projects, and he had to come up with a new one. Did you have an early disappointment that spurred you on?
So it's so funny and sort of, I'll say, destined that you say that, because I just came back from Disney World.
Wow.
And I was very fortunate to go with my wife and kids, and it filled me with magic. The same magic and imagination that I had as a kid was immediately restored, or I was transported back to that when I walked into Disney World as an adult. And then I got to also see the magic of Disney through my eyes, through my kids' eyes.
Yeah.
And, I think of things along my business journey, of things that were taken, mistakes that were made, or challenges. And people with vision find ways to overcome things. They find ways to make lemonade out of lemons. And we had a situation early on where we printed the barcode to our peppermint gum package with the wrong barcode. We ordered 1 million sleeves for gum, and we forgot to check if it was the right barcode. So it was the spearmint barcode on a peppermint package. And I was devastated at the time because the amount of money that we had tied up in sleeves that we couldn't use was a total waste. And after I, was upset and, very frustrated about it, I realized this is going to be the least expensive lesson I ever learn. And we have never made that mistake again. It forced us to put proper controls in place and processes so that when we're coming out with innovation or doing ideas, we know what are the things to look for and what are the things to be aware of. How can mistakes go wrong?
Wow.
And I like to say in the first 4 years of our journey, we probably made every wrong turn before we made right turns. But those are the things that go back to us every single time today when we launch a new item. We have a dividend on that lesson, which is the barcode correct?
Well, it's a basic. I mean, as a journalist, I've written things that have ended up in print that were wrong or spelled wrong, and it just haunts you forever. It's the digital world; you can correct a lot of things, but you're right. Once it's locked in on print,
you know what? But it speaks to the resilience of an entrepreneur, because if I would have stopped there and said, "Oh, that broke me, I'm done," as opposed to now I'm hyper aware of any time something goes into print, I better make sure I've got a list of all the things that I need to check off before we go to print, it's made our company a lot better. And I credit a lot of our failures for getting us to the path of success. And I think, one of the things that entrepreneurship doesn't teach you is how to fail and how to recover from failure.
Wow. Yeah.
And, most people may not succeed their first time or second time or third time. But, the guy who wins the award is usually the guy who's tried a lot of times. And, that's what it's all about.
There's no overnight success, really. And
not for the first 1,000 nights, anyway.
What was it that was the most valuable asset that Arlene and Jim brought when you guys got together and you started to work as a team?
Yeah, so we started working with Arlene after, and Arlene is an incredible entrepreneur and visionary, and she is so passionate about Canadians and young business people, and I shouldn't limit it to young business people, but people who have an idea, who want to really make something and achieve. She's got vision, she's got experience, and she knows how to encourage the right sort of, I'll call it puppeteering of the talent development. She's a marketer through and through, and she's got a real vision. And when you get confidence from someone who's been there and done that, and they can say, I like the path that you're on, or try this or try that, the confidence that gives you is incredible. It's like the spinach that Popeye would eat, like did the spinach, did that really make his muscles big, or was it a mindset of after the second time he did it, it turned in and it was self-fulfilling. And the confidence that Arlene puts into all the entrepreneurs that she works with is incredible, but she also really cares, and she's authentic. And that's not the case with everybody. A lot of people transact. They're looking to put in $1 and get out $2. But when you care about the betterment of the future, that is kind of an X factor that helps entrepreneurs kind of connect the dots between, their day one on their journey and the future success of what they're doing.
It's true. I mean, I follow Arlene on social media, on Facebook, and you get a sense of her commitment to social values, culture, many things beyond being on television. And so it does help form, a more complete picture of who she is. And she's certainly someone to admire.
Yeah, 100%. And I think in the social world today, you have a lot of people with a digital persona and then like who they are in real life. And I was very fortunate to spend time with Arlene, where it was just the two of us hanging out. We were in Switzerland together. She invited me to see her cottage, and she is probably equally authentic in both worlds. And, that is a very unique mix of someone who has achieved the level of success that she has, to not only take the time to share stories, but to invest the time and give back so that the future generation can make, Canada and the world a better place. Yeah. That really is a spectacular quality, and she is authentic, through and through.
For sure. Well, that's great to hear. I wanted to ask just a couple of nerdy questions just about the product. This term xylitol, is this sort of the key ingredient, right, that makes it taste good and is a sugar replacement, I guess? Explain to me, how did you discover this? What brought you to this as something that would work perfectly for gum?
So it took me several years to pronounce xylitol, and I am glad that in the books growing up, when A is for apple, xylophone was always what they used for the X. Yeah. So I was halfway there for the word. But xylitol is a natural sweetener that comes either from birch or beech trees, or and the body can break it down. It's a natural sweetener that, the body interprets as sweet, so like sugar or like aspartame, but the body can actually break it down. Whereas aspartame is an artificial sweetener, and the body doesn't know how to interpret it. So it interprets it as sweet, but the aspartame kind of stays in your body. So there's, I think there's a number like 92 FDA related, side effects from aspartame, but it can't convert the sweetener so that it leaves your body. And then with sugar, one of the worst things you can chew for your teeth and oral care is a sugared gum product. So what you saw in like the 80s shifting into the 90s was a move away from sugared gum into sugarless gum. And, what we saw with PÜR is how can we make sugar-free gum with no aspartame and then still make it taste great and last long. And, through many iterations of PÜR, we've continued to push that limit. And really today what we want is we just want people to say, yes, that's spearmint, that's peppermint, that's wintergreen. It doesn't have to be good for you. It just needs to be good. And then if it's also good for you, you get the added bonus of a high quality product that's better for you. So when I looked in 2010 at the health food world, if you had a dietary sensitivity, let's say gluten-free, and you were having banana bread, the banana bread was so dry, it didn't replace the banana bread that you would have known before you had a gluten intolerance.
Right.
Today, there's been so much innovation and evolution and high quality substitutions that you can have a great tasting gluten-free bread or banana bread, or in our case, chewing gum, that doesn't offer a compromise. It's just good for good. And that's what we're always trying to push the limits on. Like if you have a breath mint, if you have a pure mint, it freshens your breath, you chew it, it dissolves, it's gone. It did exactly what it's supposed to do. And it's why when we innovate products, we want to make sure that not only are we using the best ingredients for you, but that we're able to deliver the high quality consumption experience. Because at the end of the day, that's all the consumer wants.
Yeah, no, I can relate so much to all of this. My wife, Sandra, is a great cook, and she's always trying to help me by sneaking in little maple syrup or something instead of, like finding household solutions to too much pure sugar. And it's hard, but, it's certainly the effort pays off. And you mentioned birch trees, and there's plenty of them in Canada. Do you tap into Canadian trees? Where do you get your ingredients?
So France and Finland is where a lot of our xylitol comes from, and it's just about converting. It's about converting the sort of natural state into the sweetener, and then if you hold xylitol in your hands, it looks like sugar, like it's a crystallized sweetener.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah. Amazing. That's very cool. Now, of course, the mints as well. They're handy. To me, the great innovation for gum in the last 20 years is the container. Like to have a rounded car cup container, that seemed to be a very practical thing. Do you have an equivalent to that? Is it something you worked on, and would it be made out of paper products instead of plastic?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and it takes me back to my early days in the gum industry. So most chewing gums are in either a blister pack or individually packaged.
Right.
And when I started PÜR, we followed suit. We created a blister pack with our PÜR peppermint and spearmint gum. And the funny thing about serving size is if you look on the back of a pack of gum, even today this exists, it'll tell you a serving size is 2 pieces. But the gum industry has forever portioned 1 piece. If you can picture a blister pack where you kind of use your thumb to pop out the gum, it tells your brain like one of those is a serving size. Like, so you pop 1 and you eat 1. So in 2012, we came out with this bag of gum, it's like a Ziploc bag of gum that had 55 pieces. And it didn't govern how much gum you would have. You would dump out 2 or 3, and all of a sudden the chewing experience changes. So before the shaker cup movement happened, we had pushed this sort of bulk consumption in chewing gum. And today, like the number 1 selling item in North America on Amazon for chewing gum is the PÜR bag of gum.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Wow.
And the cooler part about the bag versus the shaker cup is if you have 2 pieces or 5 pieces left in your bag out of 55 pieces, you can fold the bag, you can stick it in your pocket, and it only takes up the space of 5 pieces.
There you go.
If you only have 2 pieces left in your shaker cup, you cannot walk around with that thing.
That's true.
It's a lot of real estate relative to the amount of gum that's in there.
It's only handy in the car. You're right.
That's correct. It's the car, your desk.
Yeah. And the shape of the pure gum is more square, right? Was that something you spent hours trying to figure out what it looks like?
Ours is definitely a little bit more square than rectangle, but it's a wider piece than sort of your traditional. And it's funny how we're all regular people, but then when you ask for an opinion, everyone is an expert, right? How does mouth feel on this shape or whatever it is? And, really what we found was the impact of the crunch. So when you bite into the chiclet of gum, the surface area that we have coated for our chiclet has a very nice crunch to it. And, I think for a chiclet, it's a dragée, is the European term. But when you bite into it, you want to feel like that crunch, and then you get the hit of the flavor and the coating, and then turns into your regular chewing gum. But that surface area, felt nice according to our non-expert experts.
Well, I'll vouch to that. It does, and it tastes great too, and it's a wonderful product. We'll be right back with Jay Klein in just a moment.
Now streaming. One house, 10 wild Canadians. This is Canada Shore.
We've come from all over Canada to the country's #1 party spot. It's gonna be next level. Better get ready.
I love to stir the pot.
So ready to show it all, baby.
There goes the neighborhood.
Is someone here?
The boss is here.
Canada Shore, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
And now more with PÜR founder Jay Klein. Now, talk to me about popcorn. I understand you're working on this as well. I love popcorn. I collect old 16 millimeter films and show them on a projector, and I always want to sit and eat popcorn while I watch them. But it's not great to eat a lot of regular buttery, salty popcorn, right? What are you working on?
So popcorn is a snack that traditionally, people think popcorn is just healthier, but it's actually popped in a lot of oil.
Right.
And when we created popcorn, we took 40% of the oil out of the popping process so that you could capture as much flavor as we could. And, we have 2 flavors. We have just a regular sea salt, and then we have a kettle sweet and salty popcorn. And we were able to take a lot of the oil out of the process. And with popcorn, you always want it to taste fresh. There's a big difference between like stale popcorn and fresh popcorn. And then you want it to be flavorful. And then, of course, you don't want it too salty, and then you don't want it without salt. So we played a lot with that. And really why we got into the popcorn business was more because if we have 1,000 packs of chewing gum in a health food store or in a grocery store, it looks great for a gum display, but it actually doesn't take up a lot of real estate in the store. So I wanted a footprint where if you had 1,000 bags of popcorn in a store, it's like a giant billboard when you walk in.
That's true.
So it was kind of like a magic trick, like the prestige of seeing big displays of popcorn and then having more association with the brand PÜR.
Yeah.
And in the early stages of our popcorn journey, we had popcorn customers reach out to us and say, "Oh my God, you sell gum?" And then we had gum customers reach out to us and say, "Oh my God, you sell popcorn." So, really the key takeaway was you meet customers in all different ways. And, part of like the customer engagement is how do you connect with consumers? And then the ultimate goal of a brand is to have the brand PÜR associated with trust. So I trust that the ingredients in this and the quality and also the price meet or exceed all my expectations.
Yeah.
And with so much assortment today in the marketplace, you walk in, you see new products in stores all the time. People have a hard time investing in new products and trying things because if they're let down, you don't want to spend $7.99 or $5.99 or even $3.99 on a product that you don't like. So you're more inclined to go back to the brands that you like and that you trust. And that's where this innovation pipeline comes in. So, building a brand to get it where people trust what you're offering is really hard, but really rewarding.
And I would imagine just the name helps, right? I don't know when you struck on PÜR as a brand name, but that really wraps up everything you've just said, doesn't it?
Correct. So getting the brand is very important. And, why there's so much growth in the health food and specialty food industry is because people want authenticity today. Mm-hmm. On day one, when I started PÜR, it was no aspartame, no artificial colors, no artificial ingredients. There was no sugar. And 15 years later, we're the same. We're authentic since day one. And a lot of the big food companies only evolve when they're forced to change, or when the food laws change, or they're using artificial dyes, flavors, fillers, whatever they're putting in their product. And until they're pushed, they're not changing, right. Which means they're authentic in what they're doing, but they're not authentic in who they're becoming or the evolution of where they're going. And, I remember back to when I was a kid going to birthday parties, and the foods that were put out for me were, Gatorade red fruit punch, Oreo cookies, Doritos, Mountain Dew, nothing healthy.
Right.
Today, when I take my kids to birthday parties and there's organic applesauce, carrot sticks, cucumbers, and everyone gets a little hummus to dip it in, it's very different. And that shows a cycle of, a reprogramming of what this current generation of parents want to feed their children.
Right.
And so I maintain that authenticity from day one is how you connect with people.
I have I have a grandchild and he's just over 2. And no one's trying to give him any candy Popeye cigarettes, and like it just was very, very different back in the day. You could eat all kinds of terrifying things. His parents would run screaming, but we all loved it as kids, of course. And I wanted to ask too, just aspartame is such a big ingredient in beverages, in sodas and pops. Is this a venture you've looked into? Is this something that you might want to tackle next?
No. So we're constantly looking at ways to, continue offering the PÜR values in different products. We're very focused on gum and mints right now. Yeah. And, then we're focused on expanding our distribution all over the world. Today, PÜR is distributed in over 50 countries in the world. Wow. And we look forward to, kind of scaling those global markets. And we also look at is there too much sort of congestion in some of the markets? And, when I think about soft drinks is very, very busy. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of innovation. There's a lot of brands trying different things. And you're seeing a movement to prebiotic and probiotics. And then you're seeing energy and caffeine and, all the different things. Now you have a wave of different waters and sparkling waters and alkaline waters and all this stuff. So when there's so much going on, you can get lost in the noise, and you don't need to be everything to everyone. So we choose the path of focus, growth, and scale within what we're really good at, and we're very happy to do that. We're always looking for the next idea, but we love focusing on what we do. And I think one of the disciplines of being a successful or growth-oriented entrepreneur is you make your heroes your superheroes. You don't look to just turn everything into a hero.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think you're smart to do what you've been doing is working so well. Congrats on all the success in the 50 countries. And let's just quickly talk about February 26th and March 5th. You're going to be back in the den as part of the Full Circle Dragons, talking to other entrepreneurs or would-be hopeful entrepreneurs, right?
Absolutely.
I assume you've already shot those episodes.
We have shot the episodes. It was really a magical moment for me to sort of walk by the pitching mark on the way up to the Dragon's Den stage and sit in a chair. And, it brought so many feelings and emotions together. When you're an entrepreneur, you believe you can do it, but you're never sure. But sitting in the chair, it meant I had done it. I had worked hard to be in that point. And, today we all want to believe in something. And with an entrepreneur, you want to believe it's possible. And Dragon's Den, in the Full Circle Dragon's Den episodes, crystallize that it is possible to take your idea, take hard work, passion, pride, blood, sweat, and tears, and make it to a level where you can be there to give back to the next generation of people that are dreaming. So it's both sides of the Dragon's Den for these episodes are dreamers talking to dreamers. And it's amazing to be able to adopt the reality of what we've created and how we've scaled and be there to listen and invest in the next generation of people.
So you're actually the role of a venture capitalist on these shows, is it?
Yeah. So we've been very fortunate to scale a business where, now I can invest in other businesses. And the cool thing about the PÜR company is we have an active operation, we have warehouses in the US, Canada, Europe. We can plug people right into our ecosystem so that they could distribute their wares in all the stores that we do. We have a sales team. We have all the teams to make things happen. And, nobody did that for me, but to be able to do that and pay it forward and, help scale someone, it's a significant competitive advantage for up and coming brands.
And your gums and mints are available not only online, obviously, but I know here in Orangeville, where I live, at Shoppers, I believe, and different stores.
Shoppers, Loblaws, Walmart, and then you have convenience stores, gas stations, food and specialty stores. So you can buy PÜR almost everywhere in Canada, and it's really a fascinating story. It speaks to how amazing the Canadian marketplace is. You're in Orangeville, I'm in Toronto. Within a 30-minute radius from where I am in Toronto, we can almost meet with like 75% of the decision makers for the entire country. There's nowhere like that in the world where you have entree to head offices or decision-making offices to really have that kind of results. I mean, if you were sitting in New York City, you couldn't get that done in New York City because everyone has regional offices all over the country.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. Well, Jay, it's been a pleasure talking to you about all of this. I'm have a great interest in it for many reasons. I love chewing gum and I love healthy things. And it has benefits beyond just blood and sugar. It's, even in terms of dental and germ killing and everything else, right? It's a great product for many, many uses.
Yeah, the dental benefits of xylitol is incredible. And I think one of the coolest parts that I love about chewing gum is the moments that it creates. So most people share their gum. That you pull out a pack of gum and someone sees it and you share it. Not a lot of people bring their ketchup to work and offer it around the office to their coworkers. Right. But it really creates a sharing exercise between two people. And if you're in a setting, say a Subway or an office setting, it's an easy conversation starter. Oh, you chew PÜR? PÜR has no aspartame. I love that product. And it's a very cool, social exercise. We love to see it. And more so, I love watching people pull the gum out of their purse or out of their pocket. I think the number one compliment to an entrepreneur is seeing a consumer consume your product.
For sure.
And it makes me excited every single time.
Well, just remember, kids, PÜR products are great, but don't chew the gum and eat the popcorn at the same time.
Although it will help get the kernels out of your teeth.
That's true. That's true. Very good. Jay, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And I know you've already shot the shows, but I'm sure it'll be fun for everyone in Canada to watch on Feb 26th and March 5th, CBC Gem, Dragon's Den. Check out the rest of your colleagues who are also Full Circle Dragons, right? That'll be fun.
That's right. Thanks so much, Bill. It's been great to be with you today. And I can't wait to fill up your gumball machine.
Oh, you're too kind. Thank you. I want you to at least see that. Thank you very much. Well, my thanks again to Jay Klein. And don't forget to watch him February 26th and March 5th on the 20th season conclusion of CBC's Dragon's Den. On the next episode, I'll be talking to another full circle dragon who'll be roaring her way back into the den. Tara Bosch, join us to hear how she turned her smart suites into a $360 million bonanza. Yeah, you heard me, $360 million. Thanks as always to Phil Hong for dragging both the audio and video versions of this podcast through the editing machine in his den. Kudos as always to BJ Del Conte, Paul Boudra, and Stephen Dudley for the music heard on these episodes. And finally, thanks to you, listener. If you like what you heard, please spread the word. I'm Bill Brio. Thanks for listening.